Hi, hello, and welcome to Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene PriestessGorgêous. I'll be your oracle today, and I'm here to brief you on the Lunar Lounge cycle in beginning of November. So that would include the new moon in Scorpio, which starts on the 7th, and that cycle will continue until about the 22nd of November. So again, new moon in Scorpio about the 7th to the 22nd of November. And, Scorpio is the sign itself of endings, but it's really elimination. And I'm going to go there. It's the elimination kind of the sphincter. So, yeah, it can talk about actual physical parts in your body. Normally that happens around the full moon. So the new moon is like the empty cup. The full moon's more of the cup being filled, literally. Okay. And the new moon is more about planting seeds in the soul, seeds in the consciousness. Okay, really subconscious. So even though Scorpio is a sign of elimination, detoxing, and it does talk about the genitalia, it does talk about the hidden parts, the bits and pieces, the veil, things that are covered up, or things that are gates. Because, in a Scorpio, when we talk about the sphincter, sometimes we think about the anus, but there are other sphincters as well. There's a gastrosphincter inside the stomach. There's another sphincter somewhere between like the mouth and the throat. So they're like gatekeepers. And, you know, right before we get to the 8th house, we have the 7th house, which is a gate. The 7th, 1st, 4th, and 10th houses are gates. And it's about letting energy in and out. And Scorpio really represents the veil. Once you get, you're in the dark looking for light. And all types of things are there: karma, fear, secrets, shadow. And it typically is around shared emotional needs because it comes after the 7th house. So the foundation of the 8th house is the 7th house, kind of like partnerships and things of that nature. So, in a couple days, as once we can start to see a sliver of the moon, let's just pick a date right now. So this is coming out for the 7th. So the 9th. On the 9th, you'll see on the channel individual sign briefings. And they're supposed to be briefings of 5 to 8 minutes. Most of them were an average of like 12, 13 minutes. Some went as long as 19, others went as little as 8. So I do got to say, there was a little bit of cursing, especially for the Aries video, and there was a lot of singing. So generally, lots of singing and some cursing. I went off in the Aries video, and the Virgo video was weird. It was out of the normal. It was like every 3 signs had the same kind of amount of energy, very much like Jupiter does. Jupiter is like the gates, so it puts everything into quadrants. And if you quarter or draw into 12 signs, you have 3 signs in each quarter. So that's something that Jupiter does, and perhaps Jupiter leaves a gift when it's leaving Scorpio. So we'll see. The briefing will be up before the individual sign video comes out. We're just going to call those Senyas Zodicali. That'll be the playlist that has that energy in there. And again, like I said, it'll come out around the 9th. This video is coming up on Monday, and the lunar activity starts on Wednesday. So let me just brief you right now. If you want to fast forward and take a peek at the energy before it comes out online, that'll be in the simulator. It'll be simulation 163 through 175, okay? 175 being the briefing that I'm doing right now. And the tableau for this energy, it's different than the actual mansion spread of the Gorgeous Library. This is actually called, this is basically the High Council here, Gorgeous Council, usually Gorgeous Spiritual Council. So it's done in the style of aerial command. It's taking orders from the spirits. And that'll be tablet number 63, and those are available now. So enjoy yourself. And again, I do want to warn you, Aries is not a pleasant video. it's not horrible. I'm not talking about you'll see. I already met it. I felt the devil coming before the devil card came out, and I couldn't even keep my cool in the end. I lost it. Um I'm just gonna say it there. You know, Virgo and Aries are interacting. So are Aries and Scorpio. They're interacting, and those are both yods, meaning God's fingers. So, um, I had to cut that. I had to shank that demon. A literal demon popped out, and I just the fury that I was sensing was just immeasurable. It really shook me after the end. I had to pause. When I ended the video, I literally had to shed some tears just to release quickly. I mean, I have other ways of releasing, but I didn't feel like drawing a bath. I didn't feel like going on a run. I didn't feel like jumping up and down and dancing and singing and calling my ancestors and shaking my booty. So I just shed some tears to get on to the next video. So I guess just watch it at your own risk. Like I said, generally this cycle briefing, the session, the simulation, um, generally there's lots of singing, but also some cursing. Okay. So I think I've said it all. The briefing number is 53. That'll be up on the 9th, which is a Friday. The video ID is, I'm sorry, the video ID is 53. The briefing ID is 37. Okay. By the way, comments on the individual videos are not open. The only place where comments are open is going to be the briefing that includes information on all of them. It's the same like the daily epiphany. So you'll notice in the daily epiphany, you can't leave a comment, but you can click through to the weekly tarot buffet and leave a comment there. It's the same thing here. So the individual lunar scopes are not going to have the ability to leave a comment. You can thumbs up or thumbs down, but you can click through on the lunar scope to the actual lunar lounge, and that'll have this video here. That'll have the comment. And I didn't just, I don't need any feedback about the Aries video unless you want to tell me what's going on in your life. I'm sure some people are going to want to unsubscribe with what went down. I turned into a spirit. I literally, Archangel Michael came out, and Javier, so if you would, Shango came out, and I wasn't playing. I wasn't playing. I was just so pissed at what I was seeing that I lost it, and I would do it again. I don't tolerate fuckery in a person's life. If somebody's trying to shank you, you don't go walk to your enemies and give them candy. You pull out a knife and you cut that like a bad cancer. Let's call it a sword. You can use your words, you know. An enneagram for sword is words. So that's just that, you know. You can't have a pure cup and take from a dirty cup. You can't be of the light and give towards the dark. And in no uncertain terms did I let that be known. I wasn't mincing words towards the end of that video. Okay. And that was the longest video, by the way, the Aries video. So I beat that horse. Let's get into the energies here. So we have the Scorpio new moon, and that's a time of new beginnings coming from a place of shared emotional needs. And like I said, it is going to require that we practice some judgment, because we will be cutting people out like a bad cancer. Now, some of these energies were positive. I saw a lot of people starting businesses. I do want to say that the lunar lounge, you need to look at it from your rising sign. It's not for your sun, it's not for your moon, but if you don't know your rising sign, then use your moon. And if you don't know your moon sign or your rising sign, and you're too lazy to look it up or you can't get your hands on it, then look at the opposite side of your sun sign. So for an Aries sun, that would be Libra. So Libra, Aries will be opposites. Taurus, Scorpio will be opposites. Gemini, Sag will be opposites. Cancer, Capricorn will be opposites. Leo, Aquarius will be opposites. And Pisces, Virgo will be opposites. So say you don't know your moon sign and you don't know your rising sign and you're like a Cancer, look at Capricorn. So you do know your rising sign, just look directly at your rising sign. I want to say it's going to be 70+% accurate for the rising sign, less than 25% accuracy for the sun, less than 20% accuracy for the moon. I meant to say the opposite, the moon and the sun. It's really 25 to 30% accuracy for the moon and less than 20% for the sun, but I mix those two around. But plus 70+% accuracy for the rising sign, because the rising sign will tell you where things are physically going to cross your path. And the reason why it's not more than 70, like 75+%, 80+%, is because, you know, depending on your chart, if you're cusp baby, meaning do you have a 0-degree rising sign or 29-degree rising sign? Are there planets in your first house? Are there planets in your 12th house, second house? You know what I mean. Okay, jelly bean. So there's going to be some new beginnings, but these new beginnings are going to be endings and transformation. Now, it's all about finding the right tribe, finding the right soul group. And there's been some abuse, some karma, some need for a different perspective for a while, upwards of a year, for some of you, a year and a half. And finally, you're getting it, because knocking at the door, Spirit wants to give you a blessing. Like I said, Jupiter does leave a gift when it leaves the sign, and Jupiter leaves the sign on Thursday. So that's the day after the new moon. And there's so many aspects in the sky. Uranus is doing something, Node is doing something. A couple days later, Pluto and Saturn are going to conjunct, and that's going to be sextile the moon, the new moon anyways. So it's going to be on and popping, and it is going to be final endings, and it is going to be a turn of events, but it will leave something in your life. It'll be the beginning of an opportunity, and you'll have been trying to do something, get something in your life, and finally it's going to start manifesting into the physical, but it's been there all along. You need a different perspective. You needed to let go or be dragged. So you weren't going to be able to work within an element of materialization without certain things happening before. And it would have been suffering if you were fighting the universe from getting your blessings. Now, let me just check really quickly, Aries. So what I needed to do was excise a demon. And I did not do that, but you'll see why I acted the way that I did. And most of you, if you have Aries, strong Aries energy, there will be something to work out. Now let's check Virgo really quickly. It was weird with Virgo. I started talking about tax liabilities, and it was like most of the video, I didn't get to the love part until the end. So that was just a little bit strange for me. I didn't quite hit the mark. It seems like Virgos have been trying to be so diligent that, especially Virgo risings, that they're going to be exhausted when they get what they want. So in our relationships, we need to be secure in the self, because we're going to need to take a lot of our energy and put it in other people, places, and things. And people around us, especially old friends, old lovers, even family, they can feel neglected. And it's not just that. They're not going to like that what we were doing previously no longer makes us happy or keeps us happy, or the realization, the recollection, the mentioning that old people, places, and things don't keep us happy anymore. It was interesting because I was having images of children leaving the home for jobs mostly, not school. Lovers getting job offers clear across the country. And, you know, it's sad to see somebody go, but it was actually agendas, people becoming jealous, or they've been jealous, but feeding off of us. And then when the energy changes and it's time for them to be repelled, or it's for us, it's time to step into greater alignment, that's when the undercover battle comes out to the forefront. And when it's literally saying that we need to withdraw energy from most people, places, and things. Now, that's the thing about Scorpio. Scorpio represents the 8th house. So that's the battleground. That's the actual thing that needs to be addressed that you're probably scared to address. Because you're going to be having to juggle energies, but as negative energy comes out to the surface, you're going to need to dissipate it. So whenever you see the 2 of Pentacles in reverse, it means, okay, yeah, juggle, but when things come up that you don't want to deal with anymore, or when a ball gets dropped, especially in reverse, don't pick it back up and juggle it again. Let it be. Okay, because if you don't do that, you'll continue the suffering. This is actually an opportunity to move out of energy, to move on, move forward, clearly go towards the future. But if you don't have that in your mind's eye, things are not going to be firmly over. What you're needing is self-judgment, discernment of the self, to be neutral, detached, and observant. The energy around you is going to clearly let things know what they are. And that's the thing about Scorpio. It's emotional energy that stepped into the physical, but it's from somewhere spiritual. So what you're going to need to do is work on the self, work on opportunities that have been given to you by the universe that up until recently you weren't either working on, moving towards, accepting, honoring, or manifesting. And now all of a sudden, it's the time to manifest these energies that you've been sitting on, waiting on, holding out for, dreams usually. So it's like we're getting blessed, and all of a sudden people around us are going to start barking back at us. And we're going to have to mitigate those circumstances. But unfortunately, we're not going to be able to, if we have some type of toxic belief system, like we're trying to take everybody where we're going, that's going to block our lives a little bit. Okay, so we're going to have opportunities, and people around us will be jealous, sad, depressed. A lot of people will look at us and say, oh, well, you're lucky, or oh, well, you have it easy. And I'm like, you don't know what I've been through to get to where I am. You don't know what I've done to even prepare or get ready for this opportunity. And so here you are trying to tear me down, kind of thing. The advice here is to let things be clearly over when they're over, and you will feel stabbed in the back and betrayed, but a broken heart is an open heart. And the worst will have happened, and so it'll only get better from there. Because the clemency, the mercy, and the grace is that you're getting what you want, you're having a victory, but unfortunately, it's going to require a loss as well. You'll need to make room for new things in your life. You can't have more come to you without letting go of some things that aren't in alignment, that are toxic. So all through the reading, we had 2 kings, and some of the signs had 3 kings. So 2 kings is an alliance, is a partnership, and 3 kings is literally, it's like an operation. And I don't mean like a military operation, a campaign, a project. I don't mean like a surgical operation. You know, the 14 days after the new moon, this new moon right now is not a good time to, the worst signs to have surgery in are Scorpio and Gemini. Too many things can go wrong. So I'm not talking about an actual surgery, but I do see somebody need to have some type of spinal surgery. So in the world, we're going to be expediting what we've been suffering through, because we need to find a way forward, and we do actually find that way forward. But it's going to come through being secure in the self and going on the journey to manifest whatever we want. Whatever ideas we're having, as long as we believe that it's possible, we'll manifest it. And see, the wisdom here is through being a member of the soul group. The understanding is that the door is opened up for energies to step into the physical. Unfortunately, it's going to require that we are going to have conflicts that strip us of reality, strip us of illusion back to reality, and strip us of people that up until recently we really cared about. So we will be losing people, places, and things. But it's for the positive. It's never negative with the hangman. It's just, you need to see it from a spiritual perspective, from a higher perspective. So we have the 9 and 10 of swords, but it's never bad when you have the king with it. The king is saying that the king is the one driving that forward. So it meant up until recently, you were going about things in a way that was rather difficult, and now it's finally over. It was a rude awakening. It was a hard lesson. Not so much a rude awakening. The tower's not here. It was a hard lesson. It didn't need to be that difficult. 9 of Swords is suffering. It's okay to struggle, but this was intentional suffering. Maybe unintentional, but eventually it did become intentional, and it's over with this 10 of Swords now. So we have 2 10s. We actually have a hidden 10 as well. The 9 of Pentacles plus the Ace of Pentacles equals another 10. So 2 10s means the debt gets paid off. 3 10s means an overall situation, turn of events in your entire life. So you get a new job, you move, and on your way to moving, you meet a new lover, and then all of a sudden, compared to 3 months ago, you have your life is new on 3 out of 4 fronts kind of deal. You have new friends, a new lover, a new job, a new house, all that kind of stuff. Example, arbitrary example. You start your business, you start meeting new people, you have more money, da 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 da. Example, okay? So that's going to conclude, like I said, on Wednesday is the actual moon. You can look at the energy right now. It's simulation 163 through 175. 175 is the reading that I'm doing right now. And it starts at Scorpio. So Scorpio is 163, Sag is 164, Capricorn 165, Aquarius 166, Pisces 167, Aries 168, 169 Taurus 170, Gemini, (171), Cancer 172, Leo 173, Virgo 174, Libra 175. It's going to be this video right here, the Lunar Lounge briefing. And again, I made a mistake in the beginning of the video. The briefing number in the Vestal Ledger is 37. The camera ID, meaning the video ID for this briefing, is 53. The tableau in the Lodge tablets is 63. And simulation 163 through 175 will be the reading that I'm doing. Again, Aries had a lot of cursing. Virgo was mostly financial love I didn't get to until the end. And generally, there was a lot of singing. Almost every song, and I kind of lost myself in the music. It was rather joyful, and I was feeling it, but Aries took a turn for the worst. And I will do it again. So some of you are going to end up unsubscribing, and you're going to be fearful of me, and I'm noticing this is happening a lot. I did want to say something because I have the opportunity to say it on my mind. I am not a retaliatory person. I'm not a baneful person. I don't do magic for the sake of doing magic. When somebody hurts my feelings, I don't retaliate because my magic is too powerful. There needs to be a reason. I need to be more than provoked. You can't hurt my feelings or snub me and have me go put a curse on your family. It's not like that. You need to mess with my mama. You need to mess with my children. You need to mess with my clients. You need to mess with my students, and then I'll come for that ass. 2 times in my entire life that I ever actually light a candle to go after somebody on my own. Now, I can think about you in the morning during morning prayers, and you will have the universe snap you back. But that's according to what the energy you're putting out. So you'll see in Aries that my true powerful self came to the forefront, and I literally had to stop the video. And for some reason, it's on my mind. I was listening to Your Angelic Karma, and she was going off on people, which she you know, she holds back a lot, and she didn't hold back this time. she was kind of just said what her thoughts were about humanity, and she didn't care what anybody thought about it. And I'm going to have to apply that to the Aries lunar scope here. It breaks my heart that when I speak real truths about how the world really works, people get scared. And it's kind of like, well, if you're a lamb and a lion walks in the room, you're going to shit your pants, and that's not my fault. Don't look at me as the face of your issues. My job is to give you truth. Go talk to God. God is scary. That's raw, absolute power. And the word predator means you predate the being that you would be the predator to. I would much rather be predator than prey. I would much rather be a lion than a lamb. And see, everybody wants everything to be nice and lackadaisical. That's some human shit. Love don't mean a thing in heaven. Love means compassion, understanding. But see, that's some human shit that people need to do to assuage their experience. And I don't want to knock it. I don't want to make anybody feel bad and make you wrong. But a lot of the shit people prioritize down here in the third and fourth dimension is some fuckery up in the fifth and sixth and seventh. And you know, the higher beings are laughing at us with the fuckery that we perpetuate down here. You sound stupid to me when you go off and you say this and that and this. You really do, and I'd much rather you unsubscribe than hit the thumbs down. Do what you need to do. I don't care about a thumbs down. But I don't respect you, and I can feel the energy coming at me. Sometimes I look and there's a thumbs down because I said something that was offensive to somebody, or I got my facts a little wrong, or the sound was a little off, and I look at the thumbs down and I don't get any negative energy back. But sometimes I look at the thumbs down and it's literally people's ego. And I have my Uranus in the first house and my moon in Aquarius. So I can look and feel it. Somebody sends me an email and the timestamp will tell me more about that person's soul than reading the contents of their email. Literally, somebody can send me an email and I can look at their birth date and know more about them than I do reading a whole paragraph of information. That's my gift. I'm a techno shaman. So this is coming out for whatever reason. I don't know why, but I don't really feel the need to talk about it anymore. I do want to say that I'm just going to rip off the Band-Aid. This is my house. Even when I have other priestesses on the channel, I'm Mother Superior. I'm not here to care about your fucking feelings. I'm not your gay best friend. I'm here to save your soul. So if a little truth and love and light makes you shit yourself, that's your fucking problem, not mine. And let me tell you what the goddess does when she loves you. She doesn't make you feel better about yourself. She does not. What she does is remove the obstacles to your soul's incarnation, being pure in your divinity. A lot of times that will be eradicating the fucking bullshit from your life and snatching the fuckery out your mouth. And that's not a pleasant experience if you're holding on to some low vibrational shit. The thing you're chasing, the thing you're looking for is you. It's your higher self. And focusing on somebody else and what they're doing and focusing on what you don't like instead of what you want to see in the world, that is a problem. It is a sickness. I'm glad we had a moment to address that. I just want to remind you, generally during this reading, there was a lot of singing and some cursing, okay, especially in that Aries lunar scope. Peace be with you. Take good care of yourself. You can leave your comments below. Bye.